As I mentioned in the first hour, I know this is coming at you fast. For many of you, it's review. I know it's heard most of this stuff before. You go, tell me something I don't know. But I think it's important to review it. And if for those of you it's coming at you too fast and you can't remember, and it's, oh my God, I'm going to remember all this stuff. I recorded it. Got your sheet. Hopefully you're taking notes on the stuff that's going to be hardest to remember. And whenever we get around to it, I'll review it again. When I make the first assignment, I'll go back to Blackboard and show you where to find out what the due dates are. Many of you are going to email me through the semester and say, what was the due date for program number 6? No, I don't remember either. I'm going to go back to Blackboard. You can do it. I'll probably send you an email back saying it's in Blackboard. If you can't find it, I will show you. I'll help you find it. I can't show you. Mine's different than yours. All right, I'll help you. All these other places I'm taking you, if you forget how to get there or what we're using it for, I'll help you. So if it's coming fast, just stay with me best you can, and we'll get caught up there. So we were talking about Blackboard. That was slide number 10. Okay, and remember, if you want to look at past semester's grades, it's not in Blackboard. Once the semester is over, all your Blackboard stuff for this semester goes away. So you use My MSTC to see your final grades. I'm guessing that all of you have a computer at home. If you don't, I would recommend that you get one. Sent an email today with a desktop computer that was priced at $379, something like that. Looked pretty good to me. That's why I shared it with you. And if you don't have a decent computer at home, you might consider a new one. Asking for one for Christmas. You're an IT student. But that doesn't mean that you have to have the $2,000 computer. Unless you know it. Or some of you. Right? But you won't get me to back you up. Right? Don't have me call your mom or dad or his wives and say, or husbands and say, Volker said we need this new super duper water cooled everything computer. No, I'm not backing you up. What you need, all you need to get through this program is that $300 to $400 computer today. That's all you need. The networkers, maybe you'll get an argument because last class I got an argument from Sarah Johnson who said, well, if without 8 gig of RAM, I can't even survive anymore. Because it's hard with virtual machines and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And then, okay, maybe, but this will get you through my class. All of them. Would it be nice to have quad-core processors with 16 gig of RAM and a terabyte hard drive? Yeah. But it's not going to cost you $300. If you don't know what all that stuff means, hang in there. We'll teach you the networking fundamentals. Right? It would be nice. Your machine will be a little faster, but you're going to spend $1,000 for that computer or more. If you're tight on money, that $350 laptop that Best Buy, Staples, Walmart, geez, everybody's got them on sale right now. But school's starting. That $350 to $400 laptop will cover you for this class. Should have a decent internet, should have an internet connection. The better, the faster the better. I know some of you live in the boondocks and somebody told me yesterday they got the 1 megabyte connection and oh my God. Really? But you know, if that's what you got, that's what you got. You probably can't do anything with it. That will be frustrating. And you should have a USB drive. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the syllabus, and that's coming up next. So let me save that conversation. But you were asking me a question during the break that I said, wait, what was it?
If you're going to be absent one day, can you come another day? But I just kind of figured out.
I have 3 sections of programming logic. This is the empty one. There's only 23 of you in here. The other ones they're overflowing with 26 and stuff. You are welcome to come to any of those sections on and on if you need to for some reason. You can't come on Tuesday at 10. But you can be here at 2. Come at 2. You probably won't be able to use your favorite Mac, but you can sit in the back with your laptop and listen to the lecture. That's fine. If you can't come on Tuesday because something's happening and you want to come on Monday or Wednesday, you probably want to email me and say, should I come Monday or come Wednesday to get what we would normally get on Tuesday? For a while, the answer is Monday because you get it second, and then Labor Day happens, and you're first, and then they get it on Wednesday, and then it changes again later on. So email me. If you want to change permanently, you can do that as well. And Midstate prefers that if you're always coming on Monday at 4, they prefer that you switch sections so that they know where you are. So when the emergency calls come in, heaven forbid, they can find you in the building. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Many of you switched into here for me. Thank you very much. If you want to switch back, remember the other two right now are at 26. But I honestly don't expect they'll stay that way. I hope they do, but I don't think so. My experience of 23 years says about 3-4 weeks in, that'll be down to 20. For a myriad of reasons. I hope it's not you. I hope you can all stick around and help me improve my statistics. So, any questions about the computer at home? You're going to need a Windows machine. There's one Mac class. If you have a Mac, the virtual machines, what's the other one called? There's another program that you can use on a Mac to run Windows. I forgot what.
Parallels?
Parallels, thank you. Parallels. Parallels cost money. Virtual machines will be free to you. All right, if you want to get a Mac. But then I hope you got money, because Macs are not cheap. There's no $350 Macs that are worth buying because they're very old. Used ones, be careful. Software, more important. What software do I need to get through this program? Everything you need to get through this program, we will provide to you and more. How many of you are using Windows 8? How many of you want to use Windows 8? If you have 7 and you want to switch to 8, you want to try it. Or you want to create a virtual machine using Windows 8 so that you can try it. They're free. Starting about next week sometime, I need to get you registered on the site. You'll get an email from Midstate saying you've been registered for DreamSpark or something like that. Register. And you'll have access to just about every piece of software that Microsoft makes. You want to go back? I don't think they have Windows 2000 anymore. All right. But all the versions of Windows, I changed that. Oh, I got an old copy of my PowerPoint presentation. We're using Visual Studio 2013. This is another thing Microsoft's making me crazy. They're changing Visual Studio just about every year now. The books can't keep up. We're using 13. I will give it to you for free. That's a $1,000 software package. Those of you with the 1 megabyte home internet connection will want to borrow a DVD from me, because downloading it's a 5-6 gigabyte download.
What about the DVD that came with our book?
That is an express version. It's missing some pieces. I would not install it at all. Her question was, for those of you in the cheap seats, what about the DVD in the back of the book? Not going to cut it. So don't even bother installing it, because you'll have to uninstall it, and that's a pain. Robin?
Is our book supposed to be the 2012 version?
Yes. There is no 13 version yet, unfortunately. The 12 just came out last year, so he's frustrated too, the author. But good question. The book is a 12 edition. They're not that different.
Oh,
That's the
what's
best
the
we can
DVD?
Hmm?
The DVD?
The DVD might be a 12 as well.
No, it updates to a 13 or
Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah, it'll update. I'm not surprised. Robin?
You said that there's additional Microsoft software that's provided by MST. Is there a website for that or something?
Yep, I will show. If you want to see it on your own, it's this DreamSpark link. On my programming logic, there's a link for DreamSpark. You can't even get in there right now because you're not registered. Okay. Those of you who are registered for the past, you've been removed and you'll have to be added again. Noah?
Since the programs haven't changed, I'm guessing the 2010 book is still fine.
No, because the questions in the book are in different pages and there's different questions. If you've got a 2010 book, for most part it'll be okay, but you're going to have to make friends who you can borrow the book for to do the end of chapter exercises. So I'll give you all the programming languages you need. I'll give you any Windows you need. If Windows 9 comes out while you're here, we'll probably have access to it pretty quickly. The newest, latest, and greatest thing is you now have access to Microsoft Office 2013. As of last spring sometime, we are providing for you 5 licenses of Microsoft Office. Before, you had to pay $80 if you wanted it at home. Now it's free, 5 licenses. You get it by going to your email online, and in the little gear box, do the this should say Office 365 settings. And you can download it at home. Okay, I'll show you. Hang on. You don't have to follow. I'll just show you so you can see it. You'll remember this one because it's important, right?
No, is that for a limited time?
Nope.
Oh.
If we graduate from MSTP, do we still get to keep that license then?
Technically, no. Is Microsoft going to come to your house and see if you took it out? Probably not. Am I? Probably not. Is there a time limit on it? No, as far as I know. But at some point, there's going to be an Office 2015, and then you'll be like old news, and all you'll have is 13. But you will not be able to download the new one anymore. You have to have an MSTC email account. So here's the little gear. You click on that guy, Office 365, please. Software. And you can download the gamut. This is pretty much everything you need. I'm surprised Access isn't there. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about that.
When I downloaded it from the website from here, it gave me access to
It gave you more. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And you download it, and you can download this on 5 different computers, and that's it. After that, you get to pay for it. All right, and 5's a lot, particularly if you're using it just for yourself, as you should. All right. I believe Microsoft has a way, you're going to have to log in with your MyMSTC account or whatever, and if somebody else is using it, you're going to have to give them that password to get in there. And so you're probably just going to be using it for yourself.
Well, you could actually just send them the EXE.
Yeah, there's ways around it, but be good. So that one is now free. VMware you'll get through your networking class. VM, it's another $1,000 package that allows you to create computers that run inside of other computers, virtual machines. They look just like Windows. They work just like Windows, except it's in a window of its own. It's really bizarre, and it's cool. And in the networking classes for you networkers, you'll learn how to create multiple virtual machines and network them together. Oh my God. I don't even know how to do it. I can just describe it and say, that sounds too cool. All right. But that'll be free, but through them, through the networking class. All of this stuff, except for these two, is available through DreamSpark. There's a link on my programming logic page. I'll show it to you when we go back there. Or if you have a bad DVD, or if you have a bad download connection, I can give you DVDs for the most popular ones. I have DVDs for Windows 8, Windows 7. I will have DVDs for Visual Studio. I don't for Microsoft Office. You're going to have to suffer through your internet connection to get that installed. If it's your laptop, come to school, do it here. If you got a bad internet connection at home. Questions? If you need software, we're probably going to, this DreamSpark, oh my God, there's so much stuff there. I don't even know what half of it is. And you can download it for free. Networkers download a whole lot more than software developers do. Other computer resources, we talked about this room, we talked about the networking lab that has a different password than all the other ones, and all of our Windows labs. These are Windows only labs. In 210, there's 2 at this end of the hall and 2 over there at the other end by the front office. And there's a ton of computers in the Learning Commons. Those are all connected to the internet. They all have probably your favorite programs. I need to double check to see if they've installed Office 2000 or Visual Studio 2013. I think I asked them to. If they have 12, it should be fairly compatible. I'll have to check on that. But most of your programming work you probably want to do in here anyways. The screen's bigger. You got a lot more space. Or on your laptop. All of the other campuses also have computers, so if you happen to be in Rapids or Marshfield, go into the campus, you can log in using your Midstate Network ID. Network storage, you have an H drive, it's your own personal space on the Midstate Network. It's only accessible from a Midstate Network computer, so you can't see it from here, you can't see it from there. You can't see it from home. You can only see it from the Midstate lab on campus. I don't even use it anymore. But it's there. If you're in your Microsoft Office class, your Microsoft Office instructor might be saying, store your stuff on the H drive. Okay, it's secure, but you won't be able to see it from anywhere except an MSTC Windows lab. So I don't recommend it. Instead, I recommend cloud storage. There's all kinds of programs that give you free cloud space. What does that mean? You store your files on the internet. That's all cloud storage means. You can get to cloud storage once again from your email. There's the email, and here's the OneDrive. That's what Microsoft calls its cloud storage. After you install Microsoft Office 2013, if I understand it right, you get 1 terabyte, that's huge, of free cloud space. Google Drive is up to 15 gigabytes. That's times 100 difference. 15 gigabytes for most people is plenty. Microsoft's giving you a terabyte. That's huge. Right? And you can upload and store stuff there. It's all secure. It's all your personal stuff. You got to log in to get to it. The downside with using this version of it is you probably lose it once you lose your Office 365 Midstate account. I don't know. Like I said, I have 4 or 5 OneDrive accounts. You can create more. Go to OneDrive.com. It's a Microsoft thing. Create an account for free, and they'll give you 10 gigabytes or something. For most people, that's plenty. This is where I store all my stuff. So if you want something that's transportable that you can get at from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection, I recommend the cloud. There are other cloud services. OneDrive is only one of them. Google has Google Drive. I think right now they're at 15 gigabytes for free. Dropbox, what else? That's the big 3. iCloud, forgot that one. Apple now has its own cloud storage, but they don't allow you as much storage, but it's still, for most people, plenty. They're all free. They're all accessible from any internet connection. When I said I got rid of my H drive, I did. Everything's on OneDrive for me. You can do all 3. I have a Google Drive account too. Got rid of my Dropbox, wasn't using it. But get used to that. You'll probably start learning about it more in Microsoft Office class. Here I'll introduce you to a OneDrive account where I store all my in-class work. And in networking, use a lot of cloud storage? Yes? No? Not yet? It'll happen. So, this is free. It's already built in for you. As long as you got an email account and you all went there, click on OneDrive and you can start dragging stuff up there to save it in there and drag it back down. There's all kinds of things you can do. Printing. See a printer? Nope. Don't have a printer in here because all your machines not only isolated from the Midstate network, they're isolated from each other. So how do I connect you to a printer? Maybe a wireless one. They won't buy me one. So I just said, we don't need a printer. We don't. I'm not a big fan of printing. Notice how much paper I handed you today. And that's a lot for me. 2-sided. I don't do a whole lot of printing. I don't ask you to do any printing. So there's no printer in here. In the EMET, and I think there's a printer in Catherine's lab. Last time I checked, it was still free. So if you need to print something, maybe you go in there, but don't abuse it. We have saved, Midstate saved so much money since they started charging people to print. It was crazy. People would just print all kinds of things because it was free. Now we charge you. You get a $25, and the MSTC labs, you get a $25 lifetime printing budget. At 5 cents a page, that's 1,000 pages if my math is right. Might not be. Oh, whatever. It's a lot of pages. When you run out, you can go to the front desk, give them some money, and they'll give you more. I don't know about the other classes, how much they ask you to print. If the written communications instructors are asking you to turn your papers in on paper. Right? If they do, then you'll have to print them. Do you have to print them here? No. But you do have 1,000 pages for free. So don't be too afraid to use them. And in those other labs, it's another reason I like this lab, there's a little box in the upper right-hand corner that says, you've got $23.75 left on your printing budget, and darn thing won't go away. Hate that thing. Doesn't show up here. Okay, so if you have trouble, there is a refund form. Don't ask me. Go to the front desk. I'm not even going to ask if you have questions about printing. CAS is our activities board, student senate, kind of like a student government, student council thing. When you paid for your classes here, you paid a student activities fee as well. And that big pile of money is controlled by CAS. Last year they had, $6,000 to spend. So those white bags that are sitting in the middle hall with all the goodies inside, CAS did that. There's a picnic on the 28th. CAS is paying for that. Free hamburgers and music and soda and stuff, CAS is paying for it. If you would like a leadership opportunity, it's good for your resume, you can become a member of that group. They meet once a month. And they coordinate activities, and they decide how to spend $6,000. Sounds like fun to me. If you're interested, see me. I'll hook you up with the advisors, and I'll talk to you about it. It's a great opportunity to put something on your resume that not everybody else has. All right, back to my website. I don't think I need this anymore. Again, everything you need for this class, if you're a software developer for pretty much your educational career here, is on this page. I'm going to start with the syllabus. That's about all we're going to finish today. And when we come back on Friday, we'll do the rest of this page so that you know what all that stuff is all about. And then we'll get you your personal logins and your virtual machines and maybe even start unit 1. I don't know yet how far we'll get along. So I'm going to go to the syllabus that's up here at the top. Notice I didn't hand you a printed syllabus. I know what people do with syllabi. I know what I did with them in 1980. I stuck them in my book bag and then threw them away at the end of the semester or used them as a coffee coaster or something. Mine's online. You can look at it anytime. It's usually a beginning of the class thing. After we get done with this class, next semester, the syllabus takes 5 minutes because they're all the same. Different book. Once you get used to how I teach my classes, they're all pretty much the same. You know you're in the right place because I gotta get rid of that one of these days. There's my email address. Notice there's no my in my email address. Scroll, make that a little bigger here. Okay, my email address, instructor email addresses do not include the word my. Students do, ours do not. This is, as I said before in the first recording, this is how you communicate with me, other than face-to-face. We're IT majors, we don't do face-to-face, it's all email. No, we gotta change that. Glad to talk to you face-to-face. But if you need to communicate with me and you're off campus or I'm off campus, that's the way to do it. My iPad makes an annoying noise, drives my wife nuts every time I get an MSTC email because I just can't stand to have it in there. I want to answer it as quickly as I can. I need to change my room number one of these days. I am in now 314 is that room number, but you know where you'll find out where the faculty offices are. All right, let's talk about books. I sent you an email about books. This one was not purchased here, right? Good for you. How much did it cost you? $117. I heard 70 yesterday. 70 online. This better be the last semester that you buy books from our bookstore. If you're IT savvy. There's a 25% markup at the bookstore. If you can get used books there, that's great, but this is the first year we're using this book. In the bookstore, it was 132 something, right? If you haven't written your name in it, and it's in pristine condition, you can return it. You won't need a book in this class for another week and a half or so. And you can go online, ask Valerie where she got hers, and get it for $70.
You can rent them online for like 30.
Or you can rent them. I heard this is Amazon, right?
Usually, yeah.
Amazon will rent you the book. They will send you a hard copy. This is cool. I didn't know about it till this semester. You can lease it for 30 some odd bucks, and they even pay for the shipping for you to send it back. I'm sure
it's actually pretty nice to have a digital copy of it. Though.
Or you can have a digital copy.
Easy to search things.
But some people like paper, and I understand it. There's an ebook available for $46.99. If you follow that link, it takes you to CourseSmart, and you look at the book online. Now, I didn't do this for the other class, but I'll take you there because I have my favorite Dancy bookmark here, and should launch quickly. Please. Okay, there goes LastPass. Did you see it? Log me in here because I don't even know what the passwords are for these sites. If I lose LastPass, I'm in big trouble. There's the old book. Time to remove it. There's the book. I click on it and I read it, and you can jump to pages, jump to chapters. You can do all kinds of stuff, including searching for certain words. Try that with that book. Doesn't work very well. But this is an exact image, right? An exact image of your book. Everything that's in your book is in here. It's just in an online format. Where it is doesn't matter. What's more important is it's on my web. Come on, mouse. All right, there it is. It's on my website. In the syllabus, right there. You follow that link, have your credit card handy. They will lease you this book for however many days you want. 120, I think it's 90, 120, something. Well, just go click on it. Let's find out. Click. Okay, you can lease it for an unlimited amount of time for $90, which is still a heck of a lot better than 132. 360 days, 180 days, 120 days. If you are a networking student and you are sure you're never going to put up with me again, usually you figure that out in about the second week, not the first day. Right. That 120 days ought to cover you. Semester ends on the 18th. You shouldn't need your book after the 17th day. If you're a software developer, you'll use it again in Programming Logic Intermediate next semester, so you might want to go with the 180 days is really going to push it. That's just the middle of the semester. You might have to go for the 360. And then you're up to $67. Maybe you're better off finding out where Valerie got her book for $70 and have the hard copy. I agree with Miguel. I don't have any hard copy books in my office anymore unless there's no e-version available for me. Everything I have is in CourseSmart. Try one. Some people like them, other people prefer to have this to snuggle up to, though snuggling up to IT books just doesn't work quite as well. Okay. It's up to you. But I really recommend that in the future you find out from the instructor, and if you're looking at one of my classes, you go to my website and there's a syllabus page like this for every one of those courses that was listed, and it will tell you the book, and it's usually pretty current. Send me an email. I'm looking for the book for next semester. Is it right in your syllabus? I go, yeah, that's the right one. And you go find it. Don't have to pay the mid-state premium. It's convenient, right? It's just down the hall. But there's definitely a premium. Who's got my notes?
I don't know.
Even 3 ring bound in her case. This is what you buy for about $11. These are my instructor's notes. Printed. What's nice about these is they're printed one-sided. I learned my lesson one year. I was trying to save money, save paper. I printed them dual side, but no place to take notes. It's really nice to take notes on this side when you're reading that side. These are what I use when I'm lecturing at you. You'll see I always have a window open to my notes. Thank you. Those are not available in a bookstore right now because they're out. I wasn't expecting 75 of you. Right? They're out. But let me tell you a couple other options. First of all, look at that. Instructor's notes. It's the exact, right now, on this day, they're the exact same thing. If Joni opens up her book to chapter 1, programming concepts, except for the title page, it's identical. All I did is print my notes to make these notes. In about a week and a half, I'll find typos and I'll fix them, and these will be more current. Usually it's nothing major. This class is pretty stable. They're available to, that's free. You want to, you can print them. They're just PDF files, not in here, but you could print them and maybe save yourself $2, or you can go down to the bookstore and buy them. So they're on my website. They will always be on my website, but they are probably the most useful tool for taking notes because you can follow along with where I am, and people are always asking me, where are you in your notes? What are you talking about right now? It's in there someplace, because they are my guide. So I'm going to pause the recording again.
Used for intermediate, so how many chapters do we do this semester?
That's a good question. Let me go back to it if this thing doesn't move me here. All right, I'm going to go to Unit 4. I'm just jumping ahead just to show you what my notes look like. This is what you bought. But notice over here there are page numbers. Those are the corresponding pages in your book. She asked me which chapters are we. I don't do that. Nobody has written a book with the chapters in the right order for me yet. One of the publishers said, well, write your own dang book then. No, not enough time for that. So I got my instructor's notes, which is basically a book anyways. I just don't even get any profit off of it. But these pages correspond to where do you learn about variables in the book. Notice that they're sometimes all over the map. You'll see some of them, I don't know if there's any here, that may be out in the 300-400s. They're at 570. What? Chapter 4, we're going to go to 578. I don't lecture out of the book, but the book has pictures. The book has different words, different explanations. What I try to do for you in this class, what I try to do is accommodate all the different learning styles. In my mind, there's 3. Some of you like to be told about things. Some of you like to read about things. Some of you prefer to watch a YouTube video. And others got to do it. And for programming and networking, you pretty much got to do it. That's part of it. But there's 4 different things there, and I try to accommodate all of those. I've got instructor's notes. You've got a book with pictures in it. My instructor's notes don't have many pictures. A book with pictures that lets you visualize things if you're a visual learner. I will record every lesson like I'm recording these first day things, and I will put them on YouTube, and they're usually there within an hour after my lecture so that you can view them again if you fell asleep. And by the way, I don't usually take that personally. I know this can be dry and boring sometimes, and I know some of you have other things to do, and you're tired when you get to my class. That's fine. Watch the recordings. You might be ill. You might have kids who are ill. Watch the recordings. And then you will always be doing. Not so much during lecture all the time. For the first couple of months, I'm going to ask you to do everything that I do. I'll see it. You'll try it. Doesn't work. You raise your hand. I come help you. About October, that doesn't work anymore because you're too slow. Especially with 20 of you plus in the room, somebody's always making a mistake, and we'll be here until February. It's too late. So at that point, I'll say, sit back. Brad's got the perfect position. Sit back and watch me type. Think about what I'm typing. Think about what I'm going to do next. You'll have plenty of chances to try it yourself. Those of you who have to do it yourself can then take the recording, go home, listen to me again, and follow along. Pause, follow along, pause, if that's what you need to do. Your job is to figure out which of my tools that I'm providing to you works best for you. Me, I'm a reader lecture kind of guy. Give me a book, give me a lecture on it, I'm good. Yes, I still have to go try it. Right? But for some of you, this is painful. I understand that. Find something that works. I think there's something here for everybody. Find what works, and there could be a combination. Some of you will read my notes because it's concise, it's to the point, get on with life. Others need a little more detail. Then go into the appropriate pages in the book. The lessons, the recordings, all of that. Combine them so that you can learn the material and be successful in this class and hopefully improve my statistics. Please. Should be a Microsoft Office at the same time. If you're not, you'll be all right. Probably. But that's a very, very useful course to have. Required student materials. Okay, let's talk about these now. For my course, you will need a USB drive. How big? Today, I don't think you can find many of them less than 8 gigabytes, and that's more than enough. This one's 16. My advice is if you can find a USB 3 drive, they're blue. And on the sales, it'll say USB 3 versus USB 2. My advice is get a 3 because they're faster. So the data will get to the drive and off the drive faster, even if you plug them into an older computer or a USB port. They're still faster. They usually cost a little bit more, though, if you can find them. If you get a USB 2, it'll be fine. If you have an old one, can you recycle it and use it in this class? Absolutely. Do you have to erase it? Probably not. You just need some way to take the work that you're doing here home. These come in handy. Some of you are very cloud adept. If you are cloud adept, you don't need one of these. Put it in the cloud. The problem with the programs we write here is there's lots and lots of support files. And so when you create a Visual Studio program that we're going to be doing in just a week or two, they don't transfer to the cloud very easily. They transfer to this piece of cake. The networking instructor is going to tell you need one of these in networking fundamentals, because in networking fundamentals you're going to create some of these virtual machines and they don't fit on here. If you have one of these for networking fundamentals, that's more than enough for this class. This is a 16 gigabytes, 16 billion bytes of storage. That doesn't mean anything, don't worry about it. The 16 is the magic number. This is a 1 terabyte drive, that's a trillion. I went from 16 billion to a trillion bytes of storage. You don't need one this big. The last class, they were looking them up. If you can get one of these, it's 160 gigabytes. That's 10 times more storage than this thing. That'll do you. In networking fundamentals too, it'll be enough. If you're a guy and you want to brag about the size of your portable drive, did I put that on the recording? Dang it, okay. Oh well. Then you want a big one, okay, that's fine. But 160 will do, and they were finding them for right around 20 bucks at newegg.com. That would probably be enough. I sent you an email a little while ago, was it a terabyte for 50 bucks? That was a really good deal. But it's 50 bucks versus 20 bucks. I don't know how much money you have. These, a 16 gig drive right now, any place you walk into the stores are selling them for 8 bucks. Not a USB 3, it's a USB 2 at 8 bucks. Should you have one of each? Not necessarily. But maybe one's programming and Microsoft Office and written communication and whatever else you got, and the other one's networking. It's probably not a bad idea. But you don't need a monster. And this is all you really need to make everybody happy. But one of these will do too. Robin?
Do you know how much storage the networking class is recommending you have?
I had networking experienced students in here, and they said 160 will get you through at least 2 semesters.
Yeah, usually.
Usually. Easily.
Usually,
Easily.
yeah.
Couple of semesters. If you're a
Usually
networking
from year
student.
to year, we don't usually keep the same virtual machines.
Yeah.
Because the virtual machines we make are usually just basic OSs. We usually don't make specific programs.
So you'll put something on here that's kind of big. I'm going to cut you off the technical term stuff because they're all going, what? The stuff you're going to put on here is pretty big, but after you put it on here, you play with it for a little while, then you can take it off, put something else on it. Right? And so you don't need to keep them all. So 160 minimum, I would say. You can't, I don't think you can find them any smaller than that anymore.
I've never maxed out more than
Yeah.
50.
160 should be plenty. Anything above and beyond that, maybe you want to put your own pictures, your own movies, your own videos, your own stuff on here. There's all kinds of cool things we can do with these. And at 50 bucks for a terabyte, that's amazing to me. Questions about USB drives? You can do without if you're good in the cloud. If you're not comfortable in the cloud yet, then at least get one of these for my class and think about what you're going to do with this in networking. This will not do for networking unless, I suppose if you got one of these that was 128 gigabytes, because you can find them look just like this, store 256 gigabytes, but those are expensive, relatively.
Corsair just released a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's some new ones out there. And USB 3, if you can afford the couple extra bucks, is worth it. These Macs on the back have USB ports. If you turn around, you can see them for the person behind it, except you guys in the cheap seats. They have USB 3 ports. Somebody in the last class verified it for me. So you put one of these in there, it's going to fly. I'm lazy. There's a USB port on the side of your keyboard. On the left side of your keyboard underneath, there's a USB
On the
port
right
there.
place, too.
There's on the right, the mouse is plugged in there.
I don't need that.
But that's a USB 2 port. All right, so that one's a little slower. So if you want the USB drive to fly, you plug it in the back. Okay. You will also need C#. I told you before with the software, I'm going to give it to you before you need it. Not going to be this week. I'm not ready. Next week, I'll probably be ready. Okay? For free. Or you can, and you'll be ready, or you can download it at home. Or I will give you a DVD that you borrow from me. You go home, install it, give me the DVD back. If you wish, you can duplicate the DVD. There's no restrictions here. Again, don't be giving it to all your friends. Not that most of your friends are going to be interested in Visual Studio anyways. It's a very specific software program. But don't be handing it out. I will also be asking you to do some flow charting. I'm going to give you Visio 2013 to do that for free. Or you can download it from DreamSpark. So everything you need for this course, except for the USB drive, is free. And if you get that 160 gig USB drive for $25, you're good for a long time. Questions? How many of you have programming experience? Good. Notice the rest of you, you're in a big crowd. Same thing in the other class. You're in the right place. Those of you with programming experience, you're at risk. I'm going to warn you now. Okay? Because some of this stuff is so boring, you kind of tune me out, and you get into slow-mo mode and kind of pause mode, and then all of a sudden, I get caught up to your programming experience, and for most of you, that's about 4 weeks. Okay? I'm going 100 miles an hour, so is the rest of the class. You may actually be in trouble. I'm going to give you assignments that are going to seem childish. And you're going to put them off till the last day, and then something's going to go wrong that you didn't anticipate, and you're going to lose points. So you guys with experience, be careful. Those of you without experience, you're in the right place. I assume you know nothing about programming. On Friday, you get introduced. By the time you get to the end of the semester, you'll know what all this stuff, the course competencies, you'll know what all that means. And you'll know how to do it. You won't be an expert at it yet, but you'll know how to do it. In 17 short weeks. They won't feel short, believe me. It'll feel long at times. All right, there's a lot of work to be done. All right, but I'm going to introduce you to the fundamentals and teach you how to write programs using, how do we write programs? Using a program. It's kind of bizarre. Okay, it's like, how do you build parts for a machine? Using a machine. And we're going to use a program called C# 2013 to teach you how to write programs. At PSO, the Program Success Orientation, I will show you some examples of programs that other students in the past have written. Not superstars, normal students, and you'll see the kinds of stuff you'll be able to create when you're done. Don't be telling all your friends you can be writing the next great iPad app, because you're not. Most of the stuff you're going to write is going to be very simplistic. You're not going to want to show it off to your friends, and when you do, they're going to go, oh my God, that's what you paid $500 for? And you're going to be very proud of it because it's going to take a lot of work to get it to that point, and only you are going to, and all your friends are going to know that. Okay. So it's a lot of work. It's step one. By the time you get out of here, you will get your degree. You will be able to write an iPad app. You will be able to write programs like my attendance program that's running on the web. I wrote that. You can't buy that anywhere. I wrote that. And I'm impressed. I like it. It does some pretty cool things. Right, but it's running on the web. You'll learn how to do that next year. If you're a software developer, if you're a networker, you can join us. By the way, many of you are in both. Many of you are contemplating it. What normally happens your first year, you take the courses for both because we can schedule it. And then the second year, you got to figure out which one you want to do first because there's just too much in both programs to take them both at the same time. So you pick one, you finish it, and then if you still don't have a job, this is what usually happens. You job out. You get your first degree, you get a job. Why would you come back and suffer through more of my courses if you're a networker? Because you want to. Okay, that's fine. But most people, right now, you're going to hear at PSO, the job market for all of you, networkers, software developers, is excellent. And it's going to be that way 2.5 years from now when you graduate. It's not going to change. So doing both, good idea. But you probably won't need it. So I hope you pick software development, but that's a bit selfish. I hope you pick what you like because you're going to be doing it for a long time. Here's the outline, who cares? Here's the assignments. I'm going to finish this syllabus. I'm going to run a little long, but not bad. Your job, read the book. If it fits your learning style. My notes point you to the right pages so you don't waste time reading other book pages. Participate in class for the first month and a half, 2 months. Your participation is critical because you'll do everything that I do. That's how you're going to learn. Later, you'll watch me and try to keep up maybe, or do it later. There'll be homework assignments. Just about every chapter I have a worksheet that helps with terminology and simple concepts to make sure they sink in. And then every unit has one or more programs that you are to write. Quizzes. Oh, God. Really? On top of everything else he's been talking about? Quizzes? One quiz. It's a very important one. I'll tell you well in advance. I can tell you now it's part of Unit 4. So it's probably middle of the semester sometime, and we'll schedule it like you do your homework assignments. You'll help me pick the date for that quiz. If you get, try not to get behind in these first 4 units because that's the killer. You get behind, I'm going to get caught up, I'm going to get caught up, I'm going to get caught up, then here comes the quiz. Really hard to get caught up. Try to keep up. And if you can keep up for the first 2 months, it's a breeze for the rest. Tests. Yes, one at the end, it's final. Open book, open notes, untimed. You can Google anything you want. The only thing you can't do is look together. So try not to sweat that one too much. If you make it through all the rest of if you write all my programs and do all those worksheets, you're not going to have a problem. It's 20 points out of 300 or something like that. It's not big. It's not a killer. It can take you down a half a grade if you really buff it up. But why? I don't know how you could. It's never happened. So don't sweat those. That's just kind of my way of sorting out who has really got this and are you ready for Programming Logic Intermediate. Course grading. Notice where this bottoms out and notice the scale. A. You got to get 95% of the things I want you to do right to get an A in this class. It's a little steep. To pass, sort of. You got to get 70% of everything right. Mid-state is competency-based education. You prove to me you can do things. If you can't do them, I can't give you the grade. If you can only do 70% of the things, would you like your car mechanic to only be able to do 70% of his work right for you? How about your doctor? How about your software developer? Your network computer fixer guy. I'm only going to do 70% of it right. You can pass the class with that. But you can't move on with a D-. You can't move on in IT into the next class with a D-. You got to get a C. 80%. Occasionally I'll let a C- go, but I'm not doing you any favors because if you get a C- in this class, what are you going to do in the next class that builds on this one? And you'll hear a PSO, you don't want a C- on your transcripts either. There's lots of jobs out there, but like I said, 3 sections, 35-something software developers, 40 networkers. You got some competition sitting in the room here. The C- and the C's don't really reflect well on you. I know that some of you have courses or classes after this one, so I'm going to stop here. When we come back on Friday, help me remember that we were on the syllabus, core abilities. Now that I've asked you to help me remember, I probably will, but help me remember. Right. That's where we need to pick up on Friday. Thanks for your attention. We'll see you then.